It is the Worst of the Riot podcast. I am Hudson, Isaia joining me once again, and we are once again without Nikki, sans Nikki. We've got one more podcast we'll be doing without her. Next week, you'll get the Worst of the Riots for 2021, and then boom, we're in 2022, and Nikki will be here again.
Boom! It's the new year.
Yep.
We talked a little bit about that in the podcast or in the show, I guess. About how people didn't really like this year.
Yeah,
they didn't like it.
Some did not think 2021 was the best. It's fine to think it's not the best. Some people thought it was the worst.
Some people thought it was rough.
The amount of people who thought it was the worst may surprise you.
Was a little
How's
bit much.
that for a tease?
Yeah, that's a pretty good tease.
Yeah.
That's a good work.
So we call in the biz a tease.
Yeah, so be surprised by that. There's a lot of people that were upset with this year, but we just kind of cover how some people are just kind of complainers, which is okay.
Yeah,
we got a lot of them.
There's just a surprising amount.
We also did a little food fight this morning.
Yes, we were feeling Christmassy. We've got no Nikki, but we've got a stack of Christmas food. Well, it was really like two things. So we're like, it's Christmas. It's going to be weird if we wanted to taste this stuff in January. So let's just go ahead and try it before the season comes to a close. And so that's just what we did. Yeah,
Hudson and I also we scripted out, like, you know those Santa Claus movies where there's like the bad Santa.
Yeah. You mean like Bad Santa?
Yeah, Bad Santa. Precisely. But there's like four of them where like Santa's brother comes and he has to save Christmas.
Fred Claus.
Yeah.
Santa's got a brother who's just he doesn't live up to the family name.
Yeah, so we came up with our own kind of storyline. Another bad Santa.
There is
or there's a good Santa. I don't know.
Right. Some might say he's good.
So I bet people that he helped were very happy with his service.
There was at least probably one grateful person, I would think, in Pinellas County, Florida, where this Florida Santa was located.
Yeah, Richard went to work. He was in a giving mood one day. The police were not happy with what he was giving out.
Much like in many movies about Santa Claus, the police always feel like they need to step in, stop Saint Nick from doing his thing.
Exactly. So
don't know why the police are so anti-Santa.
Yeah, and then some people are a little bit anti-Christmas, not for a reason that you would think, just because they think it's kind of a lonely day.
Yeah, that's
sad
right.
Day.
So we try to give them some advice, right?
Yeah, we give them advice on like when you should no longer be lonely, when you should decide to bring that significant other to the Christmas.
Or if you really want to make sure you're not lonely on Christmas, especially for all the get-togethers, when you need to start really focusing your efforts. It's earlier than maybe you would expect to. You got to start planning ahead.
You have to.
Yeah.
We touched on that. Then
in fact, it's never too early.
No, it's never too early. And we touch on that, and then we also talk a little bit about how it's okay to take the picture in front of the tree with Grandma. Like, you don't have to have somebody there with you. You can take the picture in front of the tree with Grandma.
You don't have to feel bad.
No, it's okay.
Yeah, it's okay to spend Christmas alone.
Oh, yeah, and then we wrap it up by talking about there's a chance if you're driving a nice vehicle, even maybe a BMW, you may be driving down the highway and you may just feel a punch to the face.
That's right. And it's not coming from where you expect.
No.
And the cause of why you may get that punch to the face, it's completely out of left field.
Hudson and I would never.
No.
If I was a car designer, this is one of those, this would be a non-negotiable.
It's a mistake that we would not make in 100 years.
No chance.
So maybe BMW should start consulting us.
We should get consulted.
Yeah.
The everyday guy, this would be one of those things where like, well, you can't mess that up.
Yeah.
That's like an important feature.
You know how it is though. We'd wind up being like that focus group that used to be in those Chevy commercials that everybody hated, where they're just like, oh no, it's great.
No, it's so good.
Boom shakalaka. That's a great car right there.
It's a great car.
Yeah, that's why I think Isaiah and I would be good to be in that focus group, because we wouldn't just fall in line.
No.
We wouldn't just see the flashy new thing and say, this is great. We'd ask the hard questions that need to be asked.
We tell you when it's trash.
Yeah,
we do that every day on here. We told you one of the popcorns, trash.
Yep.
2 out of 10 trash.
It's what makes us great. I think one of the things is our brutal honesty.
Oh yeah, for sure. I'm not gonna lie and hype something up that's just terrible.
Yeah.
Like every day, if there's something that's trash, I'm gonna tell you it's trash.
We have brutal honesty and a healthy skepticism.
Of course.
And that's what gets us through.
So yeah, that's the show.
All right. Enjoy.
Bye.
Check you next time. It is The Riot.
If you missed out on the next Riot moment when it originally aired, you don't know how lucky you are. You're listening to the Worst of the Riot podcast.
that, Isaiah?
How you doing?
Sorry, I couldn't hear you over here. I had my headphones on because you were watching the Doctor Strange trailer.
Yes.
And I don't want it spoiled for me.
Well, I don't know how it could possibly be spoiled.
What do you mean?
It's just a teaser, so it's nothing too egregious. It's kind of just showing you
It's 2 minutes long.
It's kind of showing you some of the things that happen. Like, not even the things that happen, but just like the characters that are in it.
I don't want to know
that.
the characters that are in it.
That's so
Is Doctor
odd.
Strange in it?
He is in it.
That's all I need to know.
He's in it. There's a lot of other good characters. I'm not going to spoil it for you.
Well, I know Scarlet Witch is in it, too.
She is also in it. And it looks, I mean, obviously I am extremely biased because I love Doctor Strange. He's my favorite character, but I could not be more excited for a movie.
You couldn't be more excited.
I could not be more excited.
You don't sound, I've heard you more excited.
No, I'm not going to yell and scream about a trailer.
Why not?
Because I've been so excited for this for months now. So like the excitement has just set in.
You've learned to contain it.
Yes, exactly. So it looks, if I had to describe it, it looks kind of like, I'm not going to say scary, but there's like definitely some like creepiness to it for sure. But I'm excited to see how it all turns out.
Yeah.
So if you haven't seen it yet, you should go watch it, unlike Hudson, because it looks pretty good. I mean, the plot line's going to be pretty crazy.
Yeah, or if you're a real Marvel movie fan, you can not watch it and not have the movie spoiled for you, and then find out all the twists and turns and the creepiness and the characters all in a part of the movie when you go see it.
See, that just sounds like a lot for me. You know, I need that little bit.
You can't take so many surprises.
No. I need to know a little bit of what I'm getting myself into by the time I get to the theater. You know, I don't want to come in there and be completely shocked. I just need to be kind of shocked.
Yeah. You know, I was thinking about it, and even I didn't watch any of the Spider-Man trailers for No Way Home. I still haven't seen the movie, but I'm getting on that. When we resume the show after New Year's, I will have seen the movie some way or another.
That's fair. I will as well.
Yeah. So, we both need to get on that. But what I was thinking was, even with that, not watching the trailers, there was no way to avoid seeing all the stuff going on with it where, like, they're having the previous Spider-Man showing up, previous Spider-Man villains. And I thought even that would have been, how much cooler would it have been? I'm sure it's cool when you go see the movie and, the Green Goblin shows up. But how much cooler would it have been if you didn't know the Green Goblin was going to show up at some point and all of a sudden, whack, it's Willem Dafoe? How much cooler would that have been?
It would have been cooler.
Exactly.
I'll give you that. I will give you that. It would have been cooler.
Yeah, so that's what I'm trying to avoid when I avoid watching trailers for Marvel
that
movies.
makes sense. That makes sense. Because I guess when you think about it that way, it's more of a surprise in the theater. Mm-hmm. Because I feel like everyone nowadays just wants to know what the movie is before you even go.
Right. And then
that's what the part is.
They're deciding if they like it before they see it.
Oh, yeah.
And so what we're deciding is that we already decided we liked Spider-Man because it had Tobey Maguire in it before we saw it. We still haven't seen it. We already know we like it. And we already know we like Doctor Strange. But I already know I'm going to go see Doctor Strange. I don't want to decide ahead of time that I'm going to like it.
See, I've already decided that I like both these movies. And that's for the sole fact that Doctor Strange is in both of them.
Yeah! You were one of the lucky few who missed the riot when they were live. Yet here you are.
I also like to live dangerously.
This is the Worst of the Riot podcast.
I've got a survey here, a survey of 1,000 adults that says about 50% of them think that 2021 was the worst year of their lives.
As I hear things like this is really where we weed them out, you know?
What do you mean?
The complainers from everyone else.
Uh-huh.
And it turns out we've got a lot of complainers around here. And I know it was a tough year for a lot of people. But you always, to say it's the worst year of your life.
Yeah.
It's something, like a lot of traumatic things obviously have happened as of late.
Yeah.
But to say worst year of your life, I feel like every year, everyone's like, man, this was a down year.
Going to say that. I wish they would have included, obviously, 2020. How many 20s am I going to say?
Holy moly.
2020. If you took a survey, if you looked back at this exact same survey last year, of course, probably way more than 50.
2020 was rough.
Yeah, people would say this was the worst year. But you go back to 2019, I bet you right around 50% once again would say 2019 was the worst year of their life. You take a survey at the end of the year, half of people are going to say this year just sucked. Something bad happened this year.
Yeah.
It's the worst.
Well, you think too, like people forget. You even forget some of the great things that have happened to you this year. I mean, you think about because the year is so long. When you think about like last spring, anybody remember what they did in the spring? Nobody can remember anything they did in the spring, but there was a lot of times you were probably very happy in the spring. Even the summer. I went to concerts in the summer, had a good time, and it feels like so long ago when I think about my recap of this year. I think about what I've done the past like 2 months. I'm like, well, for me, I was talking about this with my roommate last night. This was one of probably my favorite year thus far.
2021 has been a pretty fun year.
It's been a great year for me personally. And then I also look at this survey and it says 7 in 10 people are optimistic about 2022. So I get like everybody's like once think about like, man, this year was tough, but next year, I'm going to get them. And then we're going to get to next year and they're going to be like, do you know what? This year just wasn't my year.
Yeah.
We're going to try again in 2023.
Yep.
And it goes on and on and on.
Year.
On and on
you
and
just
on.
keep looking back. But maybe do you think in a way that's a good way to go through life?
No.
You just think, I'm going to make it better this year?
I guess like looking for, as long as you're optimistic. I think if you're one of the people that are like, man, this year was the worst, next year's going to be even worse. Like, that's the worst way to live life. I think the step up from that is this year was tough, next year's going to get better. And then the next step up is, well, I had a pretty good year, and hopefully next year I will too. Be grateful for the year that it was.
The good things.
Exactly. Yeah. You had so many good things happen. Obviously, everybody has bad things that happened. Everybody has terrible things that have happened in the past couple of years. But at the same time, you got to be grateful for the happy memories you made anyway.
You're right on. 2021, I think it was a good year, but you know what? That doesn't mean 2022 can't also be a good year.
Yeah, every year can be a good year. It's just how you look at it.
Yeah, so count your blessings. This is a great time to do that, isn't it?
The good outweighs the bad.
Yeah, you just think about all you have to be grateful for. What are we?
It's Christmas. It's Christmas,
Yeah, we just got to be cheery.
Yeah, we can't come out with this survey 2 days before Christmas.
That's right.
We got to be happy.
Get everybody on the same page here. 2021, maybe it wasn't the best year, but it wasn't the worst.
Hey, it was my best year.
Do you not
I'll tell
remember?
You that right now.
Do you not remember 2020?
Oh my gosh, 2020. To even the audacity of this survey to come out and say this was the worst year ever.
They shouldn't even be asking.
2020 was the worst year ever. Nothing was even open. You couldn't even go to Kroger. What are you talking about?
Yeah, you could not go in a restaurant.
You didn't eat out the entire year. How was this year worse?
Yeah, right.
You couldn't go see a movie. How was this year worse? I don't understand.
100%. Oh, but here's to 2022, though.
Oh, 2022.
Even better. Maybe at the end of 2022, we'll take the survey and nobody will say it was the worst.
Well, there's 0% chance that's
what
happening.
I'm hoping for.
That's what I'm hoping for, too.
Hudson sees the glass as half empty. But get this. He thinks a glass half empty is good. The Riot. RadioU.
Isaiah, did you see this? Joe Burrow, quarterback of the Cincinnati Bengals. You're a football fan. You probably saw this, right?
Yeah, I just watched it.
You just did?
I just watched it.
Okay, so you're on top of things. He was asked, how do the Cincinnati Bengals, like they've been avoiding COVID-19 more so than other teams? We had games rescheduled in the NFL this week because the Browns, the Washington football team, the Los Angeles Rams, they were so inundated with COVID-19 cases that they could barely field teams, so they had to reschedule games. And so Joe Burrow was asking, how is it that the Bengals have been avoiding that as the virus goes rampant across the country once again? And his answer was basically, well, fortunately, there's not a lot to do in Cincinnati, so we don't really have guys out and about partying and stuff like that, going to nightclubs. We're just keeping it pretty low key. So that's how we've been doing it.
Yeah,
some people in the very city of Cincinnati are taking issue with that. What do you say?
I don't take issue. There's obviously things to do in Cincinnati. There's a lot. It's a city. It's a pretty big city.
But compared to other NFL cities.
Yeah, but listen here. Who is Joe Burrow to say this? I know Big Joe Burrow. He went to LSU and he hung out in New Orleans for 2 years.
Yeah.
Joe Burrow grew up in Athens, Ohio. You grew up in the middle of nowhere, Ohio.
So he knows.
He knows what it's like to actually live where there's nothing. If he went from living in Athens straight to Cincinnati, he'd be like, oh my gosh. There's so much to do here.
Yeah.
But now that he was Mr. Big Shot and lived in Louisiana for a year and a half, he's like, oh, there's nothing to do here.
Yeah, but there's not a football team in Athens.
No, there's nothing to do in Athens, Ohio.
No.
So for him to go from there to Cincinnati, you'd think that he would be like, there's a lot to do in Cincinnati.
I know, but
it's a great city.
What I'm saying is in Cincinnati, Athens to Cincinnati is Cincinnati to New York City or Cincinnati to Chicago.
That's fair, exactly. So you'd think he would be like, there's a lot to do here, right?
No, what I'm saying is when you compare Athens to Cincinnati, there's way more to do in Cincinnati.
Yeah.
When you compare Cincinnati to Chicago or Los Angeles or Seattle
Same
or
deal, yes.
Miami, then there's not a lot to do in Cincinnati.
That is true.
So what he's saying is correct. And that is the key to their success, and that is why the Packers will be the most COVID-19 free team the rest of the season.
There's 4 teams in a market like that? Like you've got the 2 LA teams, and then you've got the 2 New York teams. Outside of that, there's a couple other like Chicago, like the Bears, I guess. That's a big city.
I think Chicago, 1, it doesn't matter because they're not going to make the playoffs anyways, but 2, it's so cold in Chicago that even if there is things, nobody's going to be out doing them because it's too cold. I
mean, when you look at the teams that recently have had COVID outbreaks, I mean, look at the Cleveland Browns. Are you guys telling me Cleveland's a top 5 market for partying and having a good time?
I don't know.
I'm not too sure.
I don't know what the players are doing. Maybe it depends on the players' attitudes.
Maybe it could. Yeah. But I think that if good old Joe, I think he just needs to understand. Like, he can't say there's nothing to do in Cincinnati and be the quarterback of the Cincinnati Bengals. That's just a bad PR look, man.
Think it is?
He needs to hype up Cincy and be like, I love Cincy.
Hudson, Nikki, The Riot on Radio U. It's time for a Riot food fight.
It is time for a Riot food fight. This is a special Riot food fight. I don't know if we've ever done this. Have we ever done a food? I mean, I know you and I, Isaiah, have never done this. Just a food fight, just the 2 of us.
No.
Like where Nikki is not involved. Somehow Nikki always is in the food fight.
Yeah, it's odd enough that it seems like she always gets to do them.
Yeah.
Where I feel like we always get to do them too. Though.
I know. Sometimes you might think that we're the driving force behind every food fight. Not always the case. Nikki loves to do a food fight.
Oh, Nikki loves the food fight.
She loves to get in on the food fight. But today we're doing it without her. She's on vacation, so we're making the most of it, the most of the time we have together. So what we have here is 2 different kinds of Christmas flavored popcorn. Which one would you like to start with, Isaiah?
What are our options here? What do we got? What do the bags look like here?
Would you like to look at the bags?
Yeah. Show them the bags. The bags look cool.
We've got Smart Food, Mary Berry Captain Crunch Berries popcorn.
Okay.
And then we have Cookie Pop popcorn, iced gingerbread flavor.
Which one do we think is going to be better of the 2? I think the Cookie Pop.
I'm leaning to the Cookie Pop as well.
So maybe we do the other one first.
Based off of the bags, I would have thought the Captain Crunch, but what I fear is after opening
it looks pretty plain.
It
the
looks
Captain
like
Crunch,
it's just regular popcorn, and then they put crunch berries in.
Which is just a poor effort.
Yeah, anybody can do that.
We may be talking a little early. Maybe it tastes really good. Maybe it tastes like Captain Crunch.
Let's try it then.
Okay.
I actually am going to have to stick my hands in to make sure we get a mix here.
Oh! Fruité. Slight.
Hold on.
Not aggressive.
So I ate a crunch berry and the popcorn together.
Oh.
Let me try the popcorn on its own. That's just regular popcorn.
No, it's not.
Yes, it is.
No, it's not.
That is 100%.
You don't taste the sweetness?
I do not.
What
I just taste Smart Food popcorn.
Are you crazy?
I can taste it. The crunch berries are doing all the work here.
I think
I'd rather just have a bowl of crunch berries.
I don't know if they put extra flavoring on them, but I think you can see.
You think it's just
if you look closely,
the transitive property or whatever?
But you can see those sparkles on it of the Captain Crunch.
That's just from being in the same bag.
Yeah, so there's
the crunch berries.
The flavor's on there. This is not
faint though.
If you gave me this piece of popcorn, and I ate it and had no idea, I would say, "Oh, this is kind of a sweet piece of popcorn. This is not regular."
I disagree 100%.
What?
It's just regular popcorn.
No, I mean, it might be just regular popcorn, but the transitiveness, like you said, of the berries to that, you can taste the sweetness on it.
I just think you can't just put popcorn and crunch berries in a bag and call it something special.
Up.
Yeah, you can't call that something special. You can't put a whole new branding on the bag. You haven't done anything.
I'm not saying it's incredible.
You just had a production line mix up, and you're like, oh, this is a new flavor. It's not a new flavor.
I'm not saying it's incredible, but I'm saying if I handed this piece of popcorn to a random person, they would not say it's just a regular piece of Smart Food popcorn. They would say, oh, there's something like kind of sweet about it.
I don't know.
Slight.
I don't think that's good enough in my book.
Yeah, I don't think it's great.
I'd rather have full on really good popcorn.
Yeah.
or just have a bowl of crunch berries.
I'm not saying that I love it.
All right. Well, let's move on to the gingerbread cookie popcorn and see how this is iced gingerbread and see. Ooh, it smells nice. This one actually has a smell.
Oh, hasn't it? Yes, it has a lot of smell.
Mmm. Now that.
Oh, it tastes aftertaste gingerbread.
Mm-hmm. Yep. It really comes through at the end. You know what? That's all right. It's sweet enough. It's not too amazingly sweet. It's not too ginger.
Aftertaste of gingerbread, for sure. During it, I taste a lot of like the sugar cookie or whatever it is.
I think that's all right.
Yeah, pretty good.
This is a good section of the food. Yeah, it's just pretty good. There's no controversy about this. It's just fine.
Yeah, it's not great. I don't think it's incredible, but I think it's just good enough.
This is good enough though that you could you give me a cup of this and I just sitting around. I'm gonna finish it.
I'm gonna slowly finish it.
Yeah.
I'm gonna slowly finish. I wouldn't chomp it down. I'm gonna slowly finish
and
this.
I'm not gonna be like, oh man, this is I need to finish this. Give me more. But I'll finish the bag.
Yeah. So overall, solid.
Like a 7 out of 10, maybe 6 out of 10.
I would say 7 out of 10 for this one, for the gingerbread.
Yeah.
For the other one, I would say like a 4. No,
4 if they're lucky.
I was gonna say a 3, maybe a 3 out of 10.
It's not very good.
It's pretty trash.
Yeah. All right. I think I've got popcorn in my throat. I think I'm gonna start choking here in a second. So
we've got about 10 seconds until Hudson loses
it. Need a sip of coffee.
Tears are rolling down his face.
This is the Worst of the Riot podcast.
Isaiah, you and I were talking. Actually, it was on the show. We were talking about how for us, 2021, not a bad year, huh?
Great year for me.
For some people, 53% of people, according to the survey, they said 2021 sucked.
Bad
the worst
year for them.
ever. I think some of those people are exaggerating, but for the other 47%, for the you and I's of the world,
not bad.
2021, a pretty good year. Like we're feeling pretty good, right? You're going into Christmas. You're excited. You're optimistic for the new year.
Excited.
But, you're just feeling like you've done a lot in this past year. You're feeling like things are going pretty good. And, I'll tell you, Isaiah, I think there's a reputation that we've given God that is God's there for if you're a loser. Or in other words, God's there. Like if your life sucks, if things are going wrong, then that's when you need God, right?
Yeah.
But that's not the case. I mean, for sure, God is a problem solver and Jesus is able to come into your life. And if things are going wrong, he can help make them right. But he's not just that. When things are going great in your life, God wants to be there for that as well. Like Jesus actually is going through life with you every single day. So Jesus sees everything that's going on with your life and he sees when it sucks. And he also sees when times are good. And Jesus wants to be a part of that as well. He still has something to offer you, even if you're feeling like, I don't even need God right now. Like things are going awesome. I'm doing this all on myself. Because the truth is, all the good stuff that comes in life, it doesn't all come on our own. Like it's not on our own backs that we're earning all of this stuff, that all of this good stuff is happening. Good stuff happens, and some of it's our doing. Some of it is God. Like some of it is just who even knows. But God wants to be there for you, not just during the great times and not just during the bad times, but God wants to be there for you every single day. So you might be thinking, I don't really like things are going well enough. Why do I need to involve God? Because God still has stuff to give you, even when you think things are going awesome. If you're ready for that, if you want to see like, hey, what can God actually, I mean, things are going great. It can't make them go any worse, right? So why not find out what Jesus can do for you? Start talking to him. It's really as simple as saying, hey, Jesus, I want to know more about you. I want to know who you are. I want to know what you can do for me in my life. I just want to find out more about who you actually are. Start talking to God and let him talk to you.
Everything you love about the Riot, plus a handy-dandy fast-forward option. This is the Worst of the Riot podcast.
But people are in the giving mood for the holiday season.
Of course,
you know how it is. And so in Pinellas County, Florida, we have a man, 67 years old. His name is Richard Ellis Spurrier. Relation to Steve Spurrier?
We can't be sure.
We don't know. Maybe, maybe not. And the former Florida football coach, of course. And he was arrested, confronted by police this Saturday because he was out on the street handing out marijuana.
Oh, so he's similar to like Santa.
Yeah, he's Santa Jane. I guess
Santa Jane. I was thinking
That's,
like just like Like a dopier version of Santa, maybe.
Yeah, he's and even he's got the munchies even more than Santa does.
Oh yeah, he does.
He likes the cookies even more.
He does.
He was handing out. He had about 45 grams of marijuana on him, and he was just handing it out to people as they passed by.
What a giving young man!
Yeah,
wow.
Yeah, and you might think, is that a crime? I guess it technically is, because the police did confront him, and he was charged with possession of marijuana with intent to sell. Intent to sell?
It seemed as if he was just handing it out.
He was not taking payment for that whatsoever, it seems. We need to get our story straight here. But he has been charged with possession of marijuana with intent to sell. And just as an added little bonus, they said they found a hidden sword inside his cane when they arrested him.
What?
So this is quite the Santa.
Wait a minute.
This is like Santa's ne'er-do-well brother.
Is it like a candy cane? Or like what is
like,
this?
A walking cane.
A walking cane, okay.
But you got to protect yourself.
So he had a hidden sword inside of his cane.
He's got a sword.
What do you mean by sword? Like a cane is like typically a pretty thin thing.
I'm thinking like a fencing type of deal. Like a saber?
Like a saber? Really? I don't think it can be that big.
The kind of sword where you go like, on guard when you pull it out.
Oh, okay,
yeah,
okay.
You know what I'm talking about.
Yeah, fencing, yes, because it's a real skinny one.
Yeah, that's exactly right.
See, okay, that makes sense.
Like the guy from Julio Inigo Montoya from The Princess Bride.
I was thinking like a little one. Like I was thinking like maybe a tiny little.
Like a dagger or something?
Yeah, like a dagger.
Well, but daggers and swords are different.
Very different. So inside of his cane, to add in to him being kind of Santa-ish, he also had a sword with him just in case.
Yeah, you don't know what's going to go down.
Well, when you're handing out marijuana, you just never know. Sometimes people get a little bit greedy with that, but he was not.
Right. Everybody what if you're on the naughty list?
Oh,
that's
what do you get then?
It is. You're on the good list, you get the marijuana.
If you're on the naughty list, you get the sword.
Yeah. Right to the chest.
The sword, baby.
Right to the chest.
Oh my gosh! So he's just handing it out, just a little bit for you, a little bit for you. Man, what do you think?
Maybe a little bit for himself.
Maybe a little. Maybe he had already had a little bit for himself. I'm thinking
that's not denoted, but I think it's fair to assume.
Gee, so Richard Ellis Spurrier, he'll go down in history as a giver.
He will go down in history.
Especially around Christmas time.
He's maybe he starts a new tradition, kind of like Saint Nicholas is the one who that was some guy in like Turkey in the 1900s or something.
Yes.
For Christmas. I mean, it was probably before the 1900s, several hundred years ago. And maybe this is the new tradition, like generations from now you'll look back. Why does everybody put marijuana under the tree? It's because of old Saint Richard.
Saint Richard of the corner, baby.
Yes, that's right. Why does it? And it's the guy that flies around and carries a sword. Saint Richard.
He rides a sword.
Saint Dick.
The worst podcast with the best listeners. This is the Worst of the Riot podcast.
Did you know, Isaiah, that you can sue someone for asking you to stop farting?
No.
Let's handle this maturely, by the way.
No. I did not know that, oddly enough.
I think you can sue for basically anything.
You can, but are you going to win?
Yeah.
Probably not.
In this case, in this specific case, as in legal case, no, you will not win.
Oh, they did not win?
They did not win. Now, of course, the laws are a little different from country to country. This took place in the UK, but what we have here is a senior barrister, which is, I looked that up. I didn't know, never heard that term before. That's just a lawyer.
Okay.
So this is a lawyer that worked for the Crown Prosecution Service in the UK. And this lawyer sued actually the Crown Prosecution Service itself because one of his colleagues asked him to stop farting.
Wait, he's what?
So we have the farter.
And the fartee.
The farter was asked to stop farting. And so that he feels was a violation of his dignity.
Oh, so he sued the guy that asked him that.
Yes, that's exactly right.
Interesting. Because of embarrassment or what?
Because it violated his dignity. And he says that his repetitive flatulence was caused by medication for a heart condition. So that's why he said it's not in my control. You can't. I mean, maybe if I was just, if I had too much Chipotle or something.
Yeah, it's
and
different.
I was stinking up the place. Maybe you could ask me to stop farting. I wouldn't feel so violated, but it's a medical condition that I have, and that's causing me to fart. So you can't ask me to stop. That's like asking me to stop having a skin rash and scratching it in front of everybody. I can't control that.
Yeah, you can't control that. Yeah,
Yeah.
so he didn't win the case, though.
He did not. His name is Tariq Muhammad. He did not win the case. The offending colleague, by the way, the one who asked him to stop, Paul McGorry. If you're keeping score here,
I'm reading the quote. It says there were repeated incidents of flatulence in the quiet room. On one occasion, Mr. McGorry asked Mr. Muhammad, "Do you have to do that, Tariq?" And that just seemed like it just sums up the case right
Yeah.
there. Doesn't sound like he's attacking him.
No, that feel if it was at the tone you just used, which I feel that it probably was.
Like, Tariq, do you have to do that?
Do you
Like,
have to do that?
are you
Just
serious?
giving him a hard time.
It's been this is the sixth
It's
time.
what guys do, guys. What do? We fart and we give each other a hard time about it.
We've
And
been
it's
in here
like,
for 5 minutes, Tariq. This is the seventh time you have farted. It's dead silent. Yeah.
There's only two of us in here. We know it. I know it's you.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah, so I'm glad that this was thrown out. I'm glad to know now this is the UK, but it sets precedent, I feel, in the United States. Here, you and I, Isaiah, we're the only two in this room. If one of us should fart, the other one can ask.
I will sue you.
No, you can't.
I will
You
sue.
will lose.
That's not true. Maybe in that one instance.
Yeah.
But for the two of us, there's no medical condition for you to be doing it.
You don't know that.
Well, okay.
I don't have to disclose all my medical conditions.
Well, I guess we'll find out the old-fashioned way in the courtroom.
I guess we will.
We'll let
You
the
wanna
law
drag this
settle
out.
it. We'll let the law settle it.
Yeah, maybe we'll just reach a settlement to save all of us embarrassment.
Oh, yeah,
What
that's
do you think
fine.
about that?
Yeah, that's okay. We can do it outside.
No,
You-
that's-
Throw me a couple hundred.
Well, it's probably better if I do the other thing outside.
Yeah, if you just step outside.
just
That's what he
step
said.
out.
He
That'd be
asked him.
great.
He just
Yeah.
said, could you possibly step outside to do that? Tariq said no.
What do you think the problem was? Was it the smell or the
I think the
sound?
obnoxiousness. Yeah,
The noise?
The noise.
Yeah, I think that'd bother me more too, honestly.
Yeah, I think, I mean, size of the room matters. You
Yeah.
know, I don't know what kind of quarters they're working in, but at the same time, I think that there's a little bit of the sound. That's gotta be the main
Just
thing.
crack a window, will you?
Yeah.
Welcome to The Riot, where you listen to us and that's it. It's pretty much a one-way street. The Riot. RadioU.
48 hours from now, it will be Christmas morning, but and we're all excited for it. But for everyone, it is not the most exciting day. Now, this is a survey out of the UK. 1,500 British adults, particularly 1,500 single British adults, and what they found was these British adults say that Christmas Day is the loneliest day of the year.
It beats out Valentine's Day,
It
they
does.
say.
You know, I think Valentine's Day, I actually get that. Because Valentine's Day, if you're single, you're actually like, this is a good day to be single.
Yeah,
You know
because
what I
you're not
mean?
going to do all that crap.
Right. You don't have to do the Valentine's Day deal.
Valentine's Day is,
It's overblown.
yeah.
It's overrated.
It is overrated.
Yeah.
But Christmas, I don't know. I feel like on Christmas, like you're with your family. There's so much fun stuff going on.
Uh-huh.
You're getting gifts. You're giving. There's so much happiness.
Yeah, but what if, here's where I understand it though. What if you go back, you're living single, you go back home for the holidays and all of your siblings have brought a special someone and then there you are all alone. All of your friends from growing up, they all are getting married and there you are all alone.
Yeah, and mom's trying to take photos.
Yeah.
He's like, okay, your
Everybody
brother.
pair up.
Everybody pair up,
Yeah.
and then Johnny's like, yep. Well, Johnny, we'll do a picture. Like they're doing like couples photos in front of the
Yeah.
tree. Johnny, we need a picture of you. Get over
Yeah,
here. Get over
right.
here. Grandma, get in there with them. Get in there with them.
Yeah, so
Let's get a picture with you and Grandma
and
together
you
instead.
go back, like on Valentine's Day, you don't have to go back and face your family. Christmas, you have to face your family. Maybe there's some pressure. Maybe there's some questions.
some questions happening.
When am I going to get some grandbabies?
Yeah.
Who are you? You talking to anybody?
I've got
Just-
this wonderful
Yeah.
woman that I could easily hook you up with.
Trying to
It'd be
set you
so
up.
great. She's
I s-
great. Outside, I mean, she's 27. She still has braces, but outside of that, she's really great.
Oh, you just totally nailed somebody with the
I know.
27 with the braces. Come
I
on.
know.
Come on.
You know what? I had braces late. It's okay.
Yeah.
Braces look good. Okay.
Okay, yeah. You can work with them.
Hey, I had them late. I had them when I was like 18 years old. So
Yeah.
I was like a senior in high school. I could get bullied for that. All right.
Yeah. Oh, you definitely could.
Oh, yeah.
So Christmas, it's a lonely day for singles. And of course, what does this survey say you should do? Well, it's commissioned by Plenty of Fish, the dating.
Oh,
app.
yeah. Familiar.
So I think they feel like you should sign up for Plenty of Fish.
Oh, is that what this
get
is?
a jump start because you know what everybody does in the new year. It's one of the common resolutions is I'm going to get back in the dating game. I'm going to get out there. And then by Valentine's
It's my
Day,
year.
I'm going to have someone. Well, you could get a jump start if you sign up for whatever dating site or whatever, particularly in this case, they want you to get in on Plenty of Fish.
When do you think, now this is a question, because obviously Christmas is a big day.
Yeah.
And like you don't want to be the only one there who like doesn't have the significant other there, you know, if all your siblings do. But how long do you have to be with like that person before you bring him to Christmas?
You bring him to the
because
family Christmas.
let's say I met a girl like a month ago and I was like, well, we've been kind of like together for like a month and a half now. There's no chance I'm bringing her to Christmas, right?
Yeah.
That's a big step. You don't want to bring someone to Christmas and then next year bring someone new to Christmas and then next year someone new because then grandma's calling them the year from before. They're like, oh my gosh, Ashley, you're back. Oh no, this is Lindsay. I'm sorry.
Yeah,
like,
you start to develop a reputation.
Exactly.
And possibility for mix-ups.
Everyone's confused.
More estranged family members.
Yeah. When do you call that? Is it like a 6-month thing or is it a feel thing?
I don't know, because I was gonna say, because you did say a month and a half. I feel like if you were going out before Thanksgiving, that feels like enough time, maybe. But then, you're saying we've been going out for a month. Come meet my family for Christmas. That doesn't feel like enough time.
A lot of questions are coming. Like, a lot of questions on that one.
No, I don't know. I guess I've been out of the dating game too long.
So I think that you just hold off. I think if you start unless you start dating early fall, then you're able to bring him. But I think if you start dating, let's say even around Halloween, I still wouldn't come.
You don't think so?
I don't think it's too much. I mean, it's been, you probably met everyone, but I don't know. Christmas is a big thing. That's a big thing.
I'll say case by case, but yeah, I lean towards the longer end with you. But if it is, I think you can get away with it if things are going really well.
Yeah, dynamic-wise.
And you are pre-Thanksgiving.
You got to be, if your significant other is also like maybe a little more of an outgoing person, a fun person. Maybe if they're a little shy and they feel uncomfortable, you don't need to. You don't need to put them through that.
That's a great point. See how your significant other, that's the answer for everything.
Like if you started dating me last week and I showed up and I'm going to be all
I'm going to be
fun and games.
You're
you know,
middle. You center the table. You drive the conversation.
You can bring me and I'll show up and have a grand time.
Get to know you.
Grandpa's gonna love
so
me.
You work at a radio station.
I do.
You regale them with stories about how we talked to John Cooper from Skillet.
Exactly. Oh my gosh.
You could talk to him.
Yeah, I mean, I'm like a Z tier famous level. Yeah, so you could bring me to your Christmas and I'd make it a great time.
All right. Well, there you go. Dating advice from Isaiah himself, the expert.
If they keep talking long enough, they're bound to say something that you agree with. The Riot with Hudson and Nikki on Radio U.
Like, you underestimate how much people take into account the cup holders.
Oh, cup holders are very important.
That's a huge selling point on cars. They never show it in the commercials, but when you get in that car, you're going to notice that the cup holders are subpar.
Yeah, you better have them. I mean,
they're an important piece.
Big ones?
Who can go through life without a car with a good cup holder?
I don't even know where I'd store my things. That's where I keep everything.
That's right. It's not just for cups.
Trash.
It's for everything.
Anything you want.
Coins.
Coins.
Yeah. Uh-huh.
Chapstick. I toss chapstick in there.
Napkins.
Possibly a toothbrush.
Yeah. There you go. It's for everything. Well, here's the deal. We have a situation where the BMW X7, if you're the type of guy that likes a good cup holder, you don't want to get the BMW X7.
Why? What?
Because it's in the name. It's supposed to hold cups. But here's what do you fill a cup with?
Some sort of liquid?
Yes. And that's the problem. When you have a BMW X7, you run the risk of the liquid in your cup holder setting off the airbags.
Now, someone needs fired. Like someone just needs fired. Like whose idea? Why?
Faulty design.
Is that what it is? Is it faulty design?
It has to be. They are actually BMW. There is a lawsuit going forward against the BMW for the X7 because their cup holders, if they get wet, and we're not talking about a spill. We're not talking about you got your McDonald's cup, the lid doesn't stay on, and whoosh, it's everywhere. And that's going to set off the airbags, which, that'd just be adding insult to injury right there.
Yeah.
Already your car's all wet, and then boom, you get knocked in the head with an airbag. Nobody wants that.
Oh.
But what this is saying is, even the condensation, you get a hot summer's day, you get a bottle of water, you leave it in the cup holder for a few minutes, and the condensation is going to possibly set off the airbags.
Why is that even connected? Like, how is that even possible?
I guess it must be the wiring or something, right?
It's just connected, because imagine, like, when an airbag goes off, like, that's essentially just getting punched in the nose. Like, people's nose bleed. If I'm driving down the highway, and number one, my airbag goes off, I'm 100% getting in an accident.
Oh, 100%. You can't drive the car. I think that probably makes it so you aren't able to drive the car.
I mean,
probably shuts off the engine and everything.
Rear-ending someone, I'm driving into the barrier, there's something bad happening, and I get punched in the nose for absolutely no reason at all.
You know, I learned in driving school, they used to teach you to hold the steering wheel at 10 and 2, right?
Yeah.
But now they taught me, and this is years ago, that you're not supposed to do that, because if you hold it at 10 and 2 and the airbag goes off, it's going to break your arms.
Oh, really?
So now you're like getting broken bones here. I mean, lots of people, I think you get bruised ribs, broken bones if your airbag goes off.
It's quite the punch.
And it's all just because your condensation on your water bottle if you drive a BMW X7.
See, a BMW X7 sounds like a pretty nice vehicle. It looks nice in the photo. But you'd think that if they put together such a nice vehicle, they'd be able to figure out the whole having a cup in your car without it setting off an airbag and causing an accident.
It's a dangerous situation.
Seems like that should have been like step 1 or 2. Like, let's try not to have the airbag go off randomly.
You know, it's one of those little things that can get away from you.
Yeah.
But car companies, I mean, they're usually, especially when it's BMW, like only the finest, right? It's a refined product.
Oh,
they've been making cars
greatest.
for 100 years.
Yeah.
They've got the best engineers working on it, but apparently those engineers, they got a blind spot. It's cup holders.
Yeah, that would have been something that I, as a normal person, I would have made sure that was right.
That's a focus.
I know they probably like, well, we want the engine to have this like cool look to it and stuff. Where I would have been like, well, let's see, are the cup holders practical? Like, do they work?
Yeah.
Cup holders are good. I use those every day.
That's what can set us apart.
Yeah,
for good or for bad. You got cup holders to set off airbags. I think I'm going to lean with the Mercedes.
Yeah, I'm going to go another direction there.
Yeah, there we go. It is.
You've made it all the way to the end of the Worst of the Riot. This show only exists because of support from listeners like you. Find out more and help out at RadioU.com/donate.